Hello, how you doing? So this is part 4, plans for the black man, mass incarceration. Now the black man is very stupid. I'm always frustrated with the black man. Every time I turn on news, it's bad news. Every time I look at the news, it's bad news. And I look at quite a bit of news. Okay, all networks, and all I see is bad news. All I hear about is bad news. And I know there are a few black men who have some good news. But most of what I hear is bad news, okay? Bad news about kids. I mean, a 9-year-old shoots his 13-year-old brother. What's he doing with a gun? I mean, 13-year-old carjacker, not even old enough to get a driver's license. He's carjacking someone at gunpoint. And the truth is that if he dies, he's going to go to hell because there's no thieves in heaven. But see, what's wrong with these black males? They're stupid. And I know they're stupid. Everybody else knows they're stupid. By this time, the white man knows the black man is sure enough stupid. But what are the plans for? I don't know why I don't know the plans for a black man. Like I told you before, first and foremost is poverty. Then division. Okay, and the black man is falling into this stereotype just as easily. It's very easily falling right into it. Because what they call the elite, whatever, those are the plans for the black man. Okay? And the black man's just falling right. It's planned. Mass incarceration is planned. It's not accidental. While I agree that black men, if you do the crime, you do the time, and black men don't have too many thinking skills, but the truth is, it's planned. How are we going to get rid of the black man? Well, mass incarceration. That's how you do it. See, it's cheaper. It's cheaper for them to mass incarcerate because they don't have to pay Social Security. Because they know that, once they mass incarcerated, or even when they're young, they're not going to reach Social Security age. So therefore, the white man, let's face it, the white government doesn't have to pay Social Security. No disability checks. Because he's not going to live long enough to enjoy the disability checks anyway. They know that. It's all planned. In Zechariah, the book of Zechariah 8, chapter 10, the Bible says there was poverty. There were no wages, no money. Okay? And no income. Therefore, everybody was fighting against his brother. Because let's just say there's mass starvation. Everybody's going to be fighting over a bucket of sweet potatoes. Everybody's going to fight over that. So since there's poverty in the black community, because they make sure there's poverty in the black community. Okay, they won't hire the black man to do this or to do that. So therefore there's no wages, no money. So what do? Just like if you have mass starvation and you put a bucket of sweet potatoes in there, you see what happens. You're going to see all those people killing each other over those buckets of sweet potatoes. So what do? They put a bucket of drugs in the black community and just watch the black man who has no income already fight and kill each other over that. Whereas the Mexicans, the Central Americans, they have a room full of drugs. I mean, the people next door to me are narco traffickers. They have a room full of drugs. They have a mixer right in their own house where they mix the drugs. It's right in their own house. All they do is move drugs. They package and move drugs day in and day out. That's why all those oxycodone pills are packaged neatly. They got the women to do that. The marijuana is packaged neatly in bricks. They got the women to do that. That's all they do. Next door neighbors, all they do day in, day out is narco trafficking. In fact, all the Central Americans in where I live, that's all they do is day in, day out narco trafficking. They do not work. They stay home all day. Because I know what's going on in the neighborhood. I walk in the neighborhood. They stay home all day, every day. Now, how in the world are you paying for a $200,000 home if all you're doing is staying home all day, every day? You're not working. You're not working to pay for the house. Then something's wrong with the picture. Now, like I said, the Central Americans, who I just call them Mexicans for all practical purposes. Okay, they have a room full of drugs. They can take an 8x10 room, have a room full of drugs. But the black community, the black man, all he gets is a bucket full of drugs. Okay, and so the black man's gonna kill each other over that bucket full of drugs. Now I'm gonna tell you who else. The Asians have a room full of drugs. They have a restaurant full of drugs. How do you think the Asians are able to even have a restaurant, a Chinese or Japanese restaurant in these very expensive areas? They shouldn't have the money. But see, that drug money does that. You know, if the rent is $2,500 a month, drug money pays for that. They have a restaurant full of drugs and nobody sees it. But see, all the black man gets is a bucket full, and the black man kill over that. See, everything in America is about drugs, sex, and money. Everything. Everything. The politicians, it's always about drugs, sex, and money. Hunter Biden, y'all. Okay? So look, once you mass incarcerate the black man, there's no competition for a job. They're not going to apply for RCA. They're not going to apply for an electrician's job. They're not going to apply for a plumbing job. They're incarcerated. Okay? And if they get a long sentence, they're going to die in old age. So now the white government does not have to pay for any type of Social Security because they're going to die in prison. 40 years, they're gonna die in prison. Okay? They're not gonna collect disability because they're not gonna live long enough to collect it. Okay, so but what I do agree with, if you do the crime, you should do the time. I agree with that. So I think that most black prisoners understand that. If you do the crime, you gotta do the time. But you know, I know there are some innocent ones in there. So what does the black man do? So since Zechariah 8:10, they have no money. They have no money, no wages. And then it goes on to say, brother will fight brother. And that's what black men do. They just kill each other. Okay, so since there's no wages in the black community, what the black man resorts to legal and illegal ways to make money. You know, whatever these games are called. You know what the games are. But see, once you destroy one black man, you destroy several generations of black men. And see, they put the CIA or whoever, they put just a bucket full of marijuana or cocaine or whatever in the black community, and just watch the black men kill each other over that. They watch 4 or 5 black men kill each other over that bucket full of drugs. Even though the Asians have a room full in their restaurants. The Mexicans, Central Americans, they have room full, maybe 2 room fulls. Okay, that's not what included, is it? Buried in the backyard, y'all. But really, the black man's problem, I've seen 5 things that the black man has. Number 1, he has no thinking skills. He does not think 5 minutes into the future. Now, if you say, okay, I'm going to do this, then you would take 15, 20 minutes to plan it, or even a day or whatever to plan it. But the black man doesn't do that. He doesn't make any plans. He just acts. And he doesn't think about what the consequences are. The black man does not even think 5 minutes into the future. First, I thought it was 15. But I'm saying it's 5 minutes into the future. The black man does not think 5 minutes into the future at all, ever. And you know, since I was 16, I've been from ages 16 to about 23, I have always been frustrated with the black man. I've noticed even when I was that young, that age, that the black man has no thinking skills. Okay, you take like when I was young, you take like a lot of black men, you know, who want to date you or whatever. And you know they're dumb and stupid as I don't know what. You know they're dumb and stupid. So why would I, if I'm in 11th grade and I'm smart and I know I'm smart, date someone with a 3rd grade education? He can't spell or nothing. Why would I do that? Okay. But look, the black man ages 11 to 60. That whole generation, they have no thinking skills at all. None. I mean, if you're 11 years old and you go 13, okay, 13 years old, you go carjack somebody at gunpoint. Where did you get a gun? Okay, but look, you go you had no thinking skills, none. Because look, first of all, you can't even drive the car. Where are you going to take it? To Walgreens, Dollar Tree? This generation of black men have even less thinking skills than than their predecessors. But see, that's the Bible says that's going to happen. The next generation is going to be 3 or 4 times worse than the previous generation. So this generation, even older than I am, has no thinking skills. So this generation, look, 5 years old and up, they have no thinking skills at all. None. Okay. Now, if a 13-year-old carjacks a person and then they die, get shot or whatever, they go into hell because God is not going to have any thieves in heaven. So it's going to be a 13-year-old in hell. Okay, a 9-year-old shoots and kills his 13-year-old brother. See, that's no thinking skills. That's the parents didn't train that child to think, not to mention being safe with a gun. Okay, number 2. The black man still does not understand money. He still does not understand the money. He has not studied money. I've been studying money for 22 years and I'm still studying money. That's why you see pimps who are 60, 70, in their 70s, they're just as poor as when they first started being a pimp. Okay? You see dealers, you see drug dealers who are in their 67, who fortunately didn't make it to be 67. They're just as poor as before they even got started in drug dealing. Just as poor because the feds took everything. Number 3, the black man talks too much. I see it all the time. The black man, all these rappers, whatever. I got a $350,000 Maserati that nobody's looking at. Okay, the Bible says, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Black men need to stop talking about money because the white man is listening. I'm not racist, I'm real. The white man is listening. If you talk about, well, you got a $350,000 car, the white man going to find a way to get that money. Come up with a tax bill or something to get that money. Black men need to talk about. Do you see the Indians don't talk about money at all? You don't know if they have $1 or $10 million. Most likely they have $10 million anyway. They don't talk about money at all. The Asians don't talk about money at all. Even though they must have it because they pay cash for a house, right? Now, okay, now look, a drug lord can make, I know a drug lord made $100,000, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. Look, feds got everything he had. Every car, every piece of property he has, down to the cigarette lighter. So he's just as poor as when he started. And then there's another drug lord who he was in his 20s when early 30s when he got killed. So he didn't even enjoy. They know the black man's not going to even live to enjoy it. They know that. Black man's not going to even live to enjoy it. Okay. So he did all those properties he got. It was seized. When he died, it was seized. All those properties he got was seized. Okay. By the feds when he died. All of them. All those properties we got. Okay. So he was killed and of course he didn't take anything with him. But look, they seized his property anyway. Shaquille talks too much. And I like Shaquille, but he talks too much. I got, 5 Mercedes-Benz. See, he's talking too much. See, the white man's listening. The white man's listening to him talk, and they're going to find a way to get those cars. They're going to have an imaginary tax bill or something, but that white man's going to find a way to get that. The rappers talk about look at my jewelry. Look at my golden necklace. And look, the white man's going to find a way to put a lien on those necklaces and that jewelry because they talk too much. The black man talks too much about money. I got look, shut up. I got $5 in the bank. Duh, I got $5,000 in the bank. Shut up. Stop telling people your business. Stop talking about money. Now, see, Shaquille talking about all his money and all his cars and stuff. But see, he's not investing in people. He's not investing in hospitals, housing, not investing in people. Um, Number 4, the black man doesn't understand God ordained that we should work by the sweat of our brows. And look, I'm talking to preachers too. The preacher's not supposed to just always ask a bunch of poor people for money. Give me some money so I can buy some curtains for the church. Give me some money so I can have a Rolls Royce. The preachers don't understand that either. They're supposed to take what God gives them in the church and invest it. They're supposed to buy housing, hotels, buildings. Because look, we wouldn't have a homeless problem if the church would invest in housing, buildings, hotels, and everything. But see, the churches think the way they should have money is keep asking for it. No, the Lord, in my opinion, says you're supposed to invest in money to make more money, invest in buildings and so on. So number 4, the black man doesn't understand that God ordained that we ought to work by the sweat of our brow. Okay? The hand of the diligent maketh rich. You got to be diligent in what you're doing. You got to work hard. The black man, the 5th problem of the black man does not study. Not only does he not study academically, which is why he can't talk and can't read, but he doesn't study things like nutrition. Otherwise, a black man wouldn't be going to KFC and the Popeyes to get that nasty chicken and eating it all. And eating those biscuits that, 5 or 6 people who haven't washed their hands are cooking, baking. They don't study nutrition. They don't study money. So part of this destruction of the black man is helping with his own destruction. I even hate to admit that. Because the plans for the white man said, let's keep the black man in persistent poverty. Let's make sure the black man is divided among each other. Let's follow the Willie Lynch letter to the letter. Make sure the light skin are divided against the dark skins, etc., etc. To keep blacks enslaved for 10,000 years. But see, the way to combat the Willie Lynch letter, black people need to stop talking about money. Black men need to stop talking about money. Because see, look, once you destroy one man, you destroy several generations. Because the seed is in the man. You destroy several generations. Once a black man dies, you destroy several generations. So the black man does talk too much. The black man needs to understand money, needs to understand nutrition. And the black man needs to get some thinking skills. Stop, black man does not think 5 minutes to the future. Just not. Ever. Ever. Even now to this day does not think. They didn't think when I was 16 to 23. They didn't think. That used to always frustrate me with black men. With no thinking skills. I was 16 years old and I knew black men wouldn't think. Dumb and stupid. Okay. I knew that at 16. And they still, they frustrate me. They frustrated me then. They frustrate me now. With no thinking skills at all. And like I said, no matter whatever you're in, you don't understand money. That's why you're just as poor. Pimps, when they get in their 60s and 70s, they're just as poor before they got started in pimping. Drug dealers, when they get in their 40s, 50s, because that's their lifespan, they're just as poor as before they got started. Why? Because they don't understand money. And like I said, but see, the black man got too big a mouth. Talk too much. I got a Maserati. I got 500. I got 4,000 pair of shoes. And look, when you step out on that ground, you're gonna step in the same kind of snot that I'm gonna step in. So those shoes aren't gonna help you at all. Okay, but the black man, these super rich black men, they don't invest in people like hospitals, housing. They keep buying cars that nobody's looking at anyway. But see, you need to be aware that what the plans are for the black man. One is poverty. And the second is division. And I'm sure there are some others that I haven't heard of, that I may not know about. I'm sure there's some others. Have a nice day.